What's going on YouTube? Luke from Empire back with another video for you guys today. Today I'm out here at Magnolia Links and I've got the Prism Proton Envy and I've got a couple more Envies that I'm going to be playing 9 holes and comparing them to for you guys. I've got a Proton Envy and an Eclipse Envy. And I just thought since you guys are going to be getting your Envies this week, I'd come out here and play 9 holes with it and show you how it's going to compare to the Envies you already have. So let's go. Alright, so we're at hole 1, and hole 1 is just a little rinky-dink 190-foot straight shot. I'm going to do a little scoring system with these. So C2 is going to be 1 point, C1 is going to be 2 points, Park's going to be 3 points, OB minus 1 point. I'm going to go with the Rebirth Envy first. Skip on up there. That looks like that's going to be 3 points. Now for the Eclipse Envy. Eclipse Envy is a lot flatter than the Proton. I hope I was blocking that shot. Now for the Proton. Sit on down. Not the start to the video you were hoping for from the Eclipse. Ooh. Might as well go ahead and tap out the birdie on the Rebirth. Motherfricker. Good thing we're not putting today. See you guys on hole 2. Alright, hole 2 is a 270-foot hyzer. OB all along the left in the woods. OB road and beyond on the right. And then there's water in the ditch down there on the left. And the green is sloped, which will suck your disc down into that water. So, tricky hole. I believe we're at 3 for the Rebirth, -1 for the Eclipse, and 1 for the Proton. So, 2 for the Proton. Yeah, 2. C1 is 2 points. Try to hit it on a touch of hyzer. Get stable. Please? That's so OB. That is extremely long, so I need to get good at disc golf. Put this on a little more hyzer so it doesn't go so long. That's better. That should be under the bucket. Hit the pole. Ooh. Try to do the same thing with this. Maybe a little lower so it doesn't get that skip. That should do it. Stop! Rode down the hill too, but both should be C1. Both of these were C1. Gonna get out of the negative for the Eclipse, and I believe that'll put the Proton at 4. All right, so I'm gonna take a moment to talk about how these all feel compared to each other. So they're all pretty flat, but I would have to say that the Eclipse one is the flattest out of all of them. The Eclipse and the Proton are pretty close, but the Prism Proton has just this slightest little rounding right here after it gets to the overmold, where the Eclipse is just board flat after the overmold, and same thing with the Proton. It's not the biggest difference in the world. I do like the feel of the Eclipse and the Proton a little better, and I do believe they fly a little more stable than the Prism Proton. I don't know if that has anything to do with how flat they are or not. On to hole 3 though. This hole is a little bit of a funky hole. There's just a little hyzer gap through here, and you kind of just want to throw it at this cluster of trees on a little bit of hyzer, and just you want to barely miss that tree and sneak on through there. That was the biggest shank of my freaking life. My hand just did not let go of it. My hands are pretty cold, and it is not boding well for me. That's better. Still not good. My goodness. That's better. Don't hit that. Ooh. All right, we are on hole 4, and the only point on that last hole was the Rebirth Envy got 1 point for being in C2. This hole is 350 feet. It is straight, and there is this tree blocking the hyzer, and then the whole ditch here on my left places OB. So it's a pretty tricky hole. A lot of your discs like to filter down into that ditch right by the basket. I'm just gonna try to flex them up there. That just held that. It did not come out at all. I mean, it's pin high, but the Envy is not overstable at all. I'm just going to try to hit it on that same line and see how this one reacts to it. See, that is so much more overstable. I mean, it didn't fight out all the way back to the basket, but it at least held up. Come out of it. Yeah. That should be close to C1. It looks like the proton one is for sure in the circle. I'm about to walk this one off and see. 11, 12, 13, 14. Not even close. 9, 10. All right, 10 and a half. 2 points for the proton, 1 point for the eclipse. We're at 6, 2, and 3 right now. Hole 5 is about 300 to 320 feet, dead straight. Really nothing in your way to worry about. I'm just gonna try to throw it flat out to the right, kind of at hole 3's basket, just let it crash in. That was hyzer and really out to the right, but it'll work anyway. That is really close. Try to do the same thing with this. That kind of flipped up a little bit. Scoot on up there. That should also be C1. I'm gonna throw the Rebirth Envy more flat and right at it, because this thing's kind of just a point and shoot disc. Doesn't really have too much fade to it unless you throw it on hyzer. I threw that on a little bit of hyzer and it still flipped up. All right, that snuck into circle 1 too. All 3 C1, I believe. All right, so this Eclipse Envy was actually a little bit farther than I was thinking. It still snuck its way into C1. The Rebirth Envy was also closer than I was thinking. Still about 15 feet though. I can't make a 15-footer. The Proton Envy was parked. All right, hole 6. I have completely lost track of what the score is. All I know is the Proton Envy is way ahead of everything else. We're gonna throw all of them right at it, see if we can't ring one up here. A little short. Give it a little more power. Come on, fade. That one is parked. Still didn't give it the height. That is also parked though. All 3 of these are within 10 feet, so we're gonna go ahead and tap these out. Mother fricker. All right, try to make this one. Oh, 1 for 3 right here. Ow, that hurt my toe. It is too cold for punt putts out here. That's the last one of the day. Either way, 3 points for all 3 of them. All right, I want to take a moment and talk to you guys about something that has helped me tremendously on little shots like that last hole, those little touch putter shots. So normally my grip on those shots is this little modified fan grip, but I normally have this finger on the front hooked all the way around the rim right there. And so what I found is that when I unhook that finger, still the same grip and everything, still the same pressure, unhook that finger and just put the pad of my finger on the rim right here, it helps me to have a lot more touch and control over those shots. Kind of puts the nose up a little more too, and I don't snap them out as much. My problem on those little touch shots used to be I would snap them out and then I would get scared I was gonna snap it too hard and either overthrow it or pull it. And so I would try to power down on them, and then that would cause me to miss a real far left. And so the best fix I've found for that is to unhook this finger and put the pad of it right there on the rim of the disc. And that's only for I'm only doing that for 230 and under. Hope that helps someone out there. But we're on hole 7, and hole 7 is a double mando hole, about 280 feet right here behind this little hill. And the hill slopes down, and so you kind of got to come into the green with some touch because you're going to blast past into the woods. You're just going to throw it at that leaning tree on a little bit of anhyzer and hope it flattens out towards the basket. Or I'm going to miss the mando. That's also an option. All right, let's just make sure Annie's okay right here. Michael Jackson would say, "Annie, are you okay?" Annie's not okay right there. Come on now. There it is. That's exactly what I was trying to do. Just slow down. That might be cooked. Nope. All right, the Rebirth Envy is the only one that found its way into the circle. I'm gonna make one of those today. Next hole. Hole 8 is like a 260-foot little turnover. I couldn't get an angle from behind the basket, so you got this little wide angle. Might look kind of cool. for this turnover. But the Proton Envy is up first. I'm gonna hit these on a good bit of hyzer and see if they'll just hold it and flatten out. That looks good. Just slow down, hit that tree. All right, that's like 15 or 20. It actually came out of that. I'm kind of surprised that came out of that. All right, Proton Pal. All right, that's looking better. Now just stop. That was pretty good. We're gonna try to make this hold over the whole way and maybe get it a nice run. I'd say we did it. Just go in. Oh, that didn't clip that. It still wasn't going in, but we are on a hole 9, our final hole. I have not thrown a forehand with these yet, so I'm gonna throw a turnover forehand on this hole, see how they hold up on to the torque of a forehand. We're gonna go with the Proton first. Oh my gosh. No, don't even look. Don't even look. I hope that rolls in the creek and floats away. All right, overcorrected on that. Probably C2. At least feels good. Slide on up there. C1. All right. Let's go pick those up and I'll give you my final thoughts on that. The Rebirth Envy made it into the circle, so 2 points for that. Make one. Oh, I still can't get one of those to drop. Clips was in C2. Told you I was gonna make one. All right, so my final thoughts on these are Eagle Man Rebirth Envy is not as overstable as I expected. I think that's consensus. Consensus, all right. And then how I would compare it to these two, I would say it is just more understable than my beat-in Eclipse Envy. If you're looking for a straight Envy, obviously go with an Electron Envy or something, beat it up a little bit. Maybe even Neutron, but I don't know. I've had a Neutron Envy and it was a beefcake. But if you're looking for a really overstable Envy that you can kind of flex shot, I would say go with a Proton Envy. The Prism Proton's not gonna be for you. It's actually a lot straighter than you would think. Yeah guys, let me know how you guys like the Prism Proton Envy down in the comments. If you guys stuck around this long, I appreciate you sticking around to the end. And if you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe. See you guys next time.